Go long for season-long foliar disease protection that starts at plant. Only Xyway brand fungicides from FMC provide season-long foliar disease protection from the start. Active ingredient flutriafol moves through your corn plants as they grow for inside-out protection from roots to tassel. Growers and retailers are sharing their Xyway brand fungicide success stories at xyway.ag.fmc.com. Always read and follow all label directions.
Sometimes in life, you find yourself on the right side of the line.
Do you think there's a little PTSD somewhere in there in the biathlon? I mean, you've got somebody wore out to their wits' end, and now you're going to hand them a rifle? Is that really a good idea?
I mean, I'd be like that one girl, Carrie Strug, and when she made that jump with a broken ankle, I could do that.
Live from Texas, this is the Dryline Farmer Podcast. You hear that? It's Brent and Landon, and this is the Dryline Farmer Podcast.
It's amazing, Ashton, how you get that right every single time. Well, this is the Dryline Farmer Podcast, and we are in regular form, I think, maybe for the time being. Landon, what's going on? We got Landon Nolan here. He's a are you upper executive, or are you an associate yet, Landon?
I'm not sure what my title is here on the DL podcast.
The DL podcast.
The DLF.
There you go. Well, what's been going on this week, Landon? Anything new? Anything great and wonderful?
It's business as usual, man. Plugging along.
That's great to hear. Well, things are, we're in that slow area time of the year for farmers, but if you got cattle, you still got little stuff to do. At least you got to check the water and the fence and everything. So got all that good stuff going, and we'll be going to the heifer show at an undisclosed time, even though it doesn't really matter. It's not like somebody's going to come and rob me because I've got dogs, and then we've got that sloth guy from the Goonies sitting on the porch, so it's not like anything is really going to come up to the whole porch and try to rob us or anything. But that's what we got going on. And this week, we've got a couple interesting stories. Would you call it we don't want to, it's not the Maury show again, but this could be the biggest, baddest, awesomest Maury program episode ever with a Milkman.
This one will be titled, You Are the Father.
Yes. X800.
Yeah, 800X.
Yeah, 800X. You have 800 children. Are they all mine? It's only like 3 women. That would be that was what make it really weird. It's only 3 women and they got 800 kids.
Yeah.
So we got a kind of a Maury-ish another episode, and then we've got a crime beat and a story to go with the episode this week. I'll just say there's senior citizens, dazed and confused, and a dude that got in trouble. And that's all you've got to know. But before we get to all that, we're going to let you listen to this last spot here from FMC. FMC is the place you want to be. I just got that off the top of my head, Landon. What do you think?
It's pretty quick.
Yeah, it was. I don't know why they don't hire me at some big fancy marketing, but here we go. FMC.
It changes everything. So says Indiana corn grower Nathan Davis about innovative Xyway LFR fungicide from FMC. Xyway brand fungicides are the first and only at-plant corn fungicides to provide unprecedented season-long inside-out foliar disease protection. Discover more grower and retailer success stories at xyway.ag.fmc.com. Always read and follow all label directions.
Dude, that guy's voice is so freaking awesome. He's not a game show host. It's like he works for NPR or something. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could modulate and then like over equalize and compress my mixer and everything, but that would take a little effort. So I guess I'll just talk like a moron from the Texas Panhandle. So, okay, guy, Landon, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? The pot brownie story first? I think let's do the. Let's see here. What was the short story? The Milkman fathering 800 children. I think the. So I unwillingly got on the best article I could find was on the Snopes website, and it keeps popping up this ad about fighting misinformation, and I'm sure they're talking about the COVID thing, but they're like uber liberal, like terrible, pretty much. So anyway, here we go. We're on Snopes.com. Fact check. Did a milkman father 800 children? So in January 22, a screenshot supposedly showing a news article about a Southern California milkman who fathered more than 800 children in the 50s and 60s was circulated around social media. And this,
Brent, first off, I just want to say that if this story is true, then, it's got the picture of the guy there, and he's like 90. I think that's what he would look like as a 25-year-old.
Yeah, I would think he would look all sucked up because he's got that old English golfer's cap. What do you call those?
Oh.
And so it says the screenshot was from 2022, but the picture could have been from when he was 25.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
And I mean, who else but a guy named Randy would have 800 kids on his milk route?
Yeah.
And at what age do you think he started that milk route? And was that really milk in the bottles? That's what I want to know.
I'd say at least 14.
Okay. So Randall Randy Jeffries was a milk delivery man in the 50s and 60s in Southern California. His route was in the San Diego area. And it says back in those, and that's where it cuts off. But this is not a screenshot. Well, we're not going to... I almost blew it off right there. I almost blew our cover, Landon. On December 24th of 21, a website published an article entitled DNA Testing Reveals Milkman Fathered Over 800 Children Between 1951 and 1964. So first question is, do you think he knew that?
I think you would have to have some kind of idea.
Yeah. I mean... He would have to also be on the rubber route to not have 800 kids if he was that big of a player.
Yeah. I know he did say in that original article, he just thought he was sterile or couldn't get, whatever.
Uh-huh.
The original article, the best part is when it says women used to make him apple pies, but then apple pies turned into cream pies.
So here's an interview quote from him. He says, 800, man, I just came over here with 800 kids, and man, is my penis tired. Okay, so the website...
What do you mean this buffet is not all you can eat?
This website explains on its About Us page. Okay, we're not going to go that because we're not there yet. The Daily News reported, of course, that some people make jokes about the milkman fathering lots of children. Why? You think it was probably like one milkman that actually had an affair with some housewife, and now everybody that, the kids don't, because everybody says if your kids don't look like you, oh, it must have been the milkman. Yeah. Chances are it was somebody else, but it wasn't the milkman.
Right. Yeah, it's probably your neighbor that wouldn't bring that crescent wrench back here.
Yeah, that asshole that still got your 10-millimeter socket, yeah.
There you go.
He's
stupid metric system.
Yeah.
Well, it said like where he delivered, it was like an army base. Like almost all the men were in the military, the army or navy or whatever, and so these lowly women.
Oh, so he was banging war brides then.
He was providing companionship.
You would have thought something was fishy because, I mean, how much milk can a single lady drink all by herself? You see the milk guy coming by every day, and the husband's off at in the Korean War fighting the Kosin Reservoir, or is that Vietnam?
How come you keep taking milk to that one house every 25 minutes?
And why? And do you clean the bottles off with your socks? Or why are your socks always off?
I come on this house, you take five bottles of milk and 1 pack of cigarettes.
But the one with the fat lady, you just go on by and she's always thirsty. I don't get that one.
Yeah.
Well, I get her skim milk.
You don't spend enough time at our best customer's house.
Yeah. You would think there's some kind of innuendo about skim milk. Man, dude, I just didn't have it in me today. I just gave her the 2%. Whole milk.
Yeah, you know the Uggos are asking him what the odds are, and he's like 1%.
Yeah. Whole milk. You think they'd have a better term for it than that? Oh, to all of our that my name is Earl aficionados, you know where that one comes from. Whole surgery. Think they'd have a better name for it than that.
We didn't have organic milk back then, but we had some other organic stuff.
Oh man. Well, if he had 800 kids, he was definitely, I don't know, I would say that's got to be pretty GMO'd, because even I don't think Wilt Chamberlain's got 800 kids, does he? Sean Kemp does, but not Wilt Chamberlain.
You would think that he would have been walking around there in like the late 60s or whatever, and like seeing all these kids that look like you, thinking, huh.
Giggity giggity.
I'm gonna follow some of these kids home. Yeah, I knew that lady. I knew that lady.
So if you don't know what the title of the story is, and you just read the subtext, Randall Jeffries was a milk delivery man in the 50s and 60s in Southern California. Without knowing anything about the story, what would you assume they're going to be talking about?
I would assume it would be some kind of like Pied Piper situation.
Serial killer, right? A serial killer.
Maybe that too.
What are you talking about, Pied Piper?
One man fathering 800 children?
No, that's what I'm saying. If you just read this and you don't know anything about the story of 800 kids or whatever, usually when they talk about somebody, their job, like a job that makes them travel, he's not really traveling, but because because what was John Wayne Gacy? He was a birthday clown he was a birthday clown in the 70s and 80s, and and there was he the one, or there might have been another one that had like a food trailer or whatever, and he would like cook up some of the bodies of the people he would kill. Well, you're not thinking of Jeffrey Dahmer, because he ate the bodies, but he didn't do.
But like this,
he didn't have a taco truck.
One guy would serve them.
Oh, dude, that's Silence of the Lambs.
No, it's true. It's real stuff.
All right, let's look it up. Let's see. So you're saying this guy had a taco truck. The question is, Landon, is what was the name of the taco truck? Red meat fresh from the serial killer food truck?
So-and-so spare ribs. I don't know.
Here, say this. The first one that popped up was Joseph Roy Metheny. He's even got his own Wikipedia page. So Joe, if you know him casually, you called him Joe, was an American murderer and rapist from the Baltimore, Maryland area. Despite declaring himself a serial killer and claiming to have killed 13 people, sufficient evidence was only found to convict him of 2 murders. So this guy is like the Al-Qaeda guys. Whenever there was a suicide bombing, they always go, we claim it, And so he said, no, I killed 13, not 2. So research later confirmed 3 more victims. So Metheny and his known victims were heavily involved with alcohol and the use of hard drugs. Okay, so let's get on down here. Hello, Waffles. Metheny was ironically known as Tiny because obviously he was big and overweight. Murdered Kathy Ann magazine designer in 1994. 39-year-old woman. Okay, I'm still trying to find where he cooked the bodies anywhere. Claimed to have 3 other prostitutes. So I guess he's killing prostitutes. Oh, okay. Landon, I don't know. We may have to look into more of that.
Yeah, we've got another story to cover. So
Okay.
We're kind of on the sidetrack.
Let me go. Well, that's what we do here. Joe Metheny made. Oh, here we go. Oh man, Joe Metheny made his victims into burgers and sold them to unsuspecting customers. When the police arrested Joe Metheny in December of '96, they expected him to put up a fight. The man was a 500-pound lumber factory worker with the tendency to fly off the handle or spatula. That's just wrong. At the very least, they expected resistance. What they didn't expect was a detailed and upfront confession. I'm a very sick person. All right, let's see. So he did all these terrible things. Rather than bury or hide his victims somewhere secret, he chopped them up, mixed them with pork, and served them as burgers to unwitting customers from his roadside barbecue stand in Maryland. That is pretty sick. But, I mean...
That's probably even worse than the Beyond Meat burgers.
Oh, God. Oh, Landon. What a pull. Okay.
So speaking of food,
Speaking
how
of
about dessert? What's for dessert, Brent?
Okay. I'm going to stop share here because it's keep on to covering my deal here. Okay. So we go from a milkman fathering 800 children. Do you think that's a real story, Landon?
I don't think so.
So it was deemed satirical. Okay. So moving forward here, we've got several senior citizens sickened after woman accidentally brings pot brownies to card game. So first of all, do you think she really didn't realize her probably potheads? She knew she had a pothead son, that he wasn't cooking pot brownies, because everybody knows when you're cooking something in the kitchen, you have an odor or an aroma. And if anybody's been around marijuana, they know there's an aroma that emanates from pot, especially when it's burning.
It's true. It's true. I wonder what card game they were playing.
Well, I'm sure it started out as bridge, and by the end of the day, it was probably a strip poker or something, which would be pretty concerning and devastating to a young kid that walked into a senior center with adults with half their clothes off that were over the age of 78. But this, and believe it or not, this happened in South Dakota. So this guy is a teacher. He was arrested after his mother brought a batch of pot brownies he made to a senior center, where people became ill after unknowingly consuming the drug-laced confections. Bonham County Sheriff Mark Maggs confirmed the basic details of the case. So Michael Coranda in South Dakota was arrested on January 5th for possession of a controlled substance and showing old ladies a good time. The affidavit...
The authorities must have been pretty damn quick on this, because it said the lady handed over the leftovers. that must have happened before the munchies kicked in.
It must have been pretty crappy brownies if there was brownies left over. Because, I mean, come on. Even straight-laced brownies never make it, after the first serving. So the affidavit shows that the sheriff's office received multiple calls on January 4th about a possible poisoning at the Tabor Senior Center. The responding deputy investigated the sick patients and determined they were under the influence of THC. So I want to know is, how can you tell a bunch of senior citizens, what do you think their symptoms they were presenting were?
Yeah.
I mean, did the wrinkles start tightening up, or did they start not needing the rails? Did they not need the tall toilets in the bathroom? I mean, what was it?
Those people thought they were actually out of the rest home for a while.
Yeah. They started remembering their names again.
Yeah.
All the patients who were at the Center for a Card Game had consumed brownies that were brought there by Coranda's mother, and said they were, quote, bitchin', and said the word like every other word. Sheriff Maggs and a deputy went to the mother's residence. Upon interviewing her, they learned Michael had baked a pan of brownies, reportedly unbeknownst to the mother, which the said brownies contain THC. He is a teacher at an elementary school. And he has been voted as Teacher of the Year for the last 8 years running. Quote, the kid said, "We always love when he brings cookies to school, man. They like totally rockin' stuff." Okay. He admitted bringing 1 pound. He said so. He visited Colorado over the weekend. Admitted to bringing back 1 pound of THC butter. I can't believe it's not THC butter.
Wasn't that a country song? I need THC.
Yeah, I think it's TLC or something. It was noted that I know. It was noted that Coranda used half a pound of the THC butter for the brownies. People would be more outraged about the amount of butter he used than the amount of THC that was in the butter. because then you're just fat shaming people.
Yeah. We just want to know if he used, if he used regular sugar or not.
Or yeah, if it was organic THC. Okay, Coranda told the officer he had gone to bed after making the brownies. Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Or the couch. And his mother, notice how he's in this.
He just floated up to his bed.
Yeah. And obviously this guy is living with his mother. And his mother took the brownies to the card game at Tabor Senior Center. The sheriff and the deputy then accompanied Coranda to his residence, where he gave them all free samples of the THC butter to be used as evidence. This is totally a scene out of Super Troopers. So he posted.
The attendants at first thought they had a horrible pink eye outbreak.
Yeah. Oh man.
No dementia for me. I'm just really high.
I'm just really high. So marijuana is legal in the state of Colorado. You must be 21 or older to purchase it in Colorado, and you must show a government-issued ID, which I find racist. People can also apply for a medical card if they are between the ages of 18 and 21. I've got acne, so I need some marijuana. It is illegal in the state of South Dakota, however, but medical use is legal with restrictions. The state has strict laws regarding illegal possession of cannabis products, with maximum punishments that can be up to 10 years in prison. So this has got to be. So who sang that? Was that Pat Green that sang the Everclear song? That was the best game of bridge the Baptist ever thrown, or something like that. Because when that dude spiked those watermelons with the Everclear, it was kind of off the hook. But you would think, would you know it's a pot brownie after the first bite? Because I would assume they would change the taste of it a little bit. I doubt people are saying, "Hey, this tastes like there's extra baking soda in here or something." So that tempts me to look up what all types of condiments can put THC. You can put THC in it. Let's say condiments with THC. I can hear the black helicopters going right here. Okay, here are 7 cool cannabis condiments. Maybe if the old Milkman had this, he wouldn't have fathered 800 kids. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, can you put it in milk?
Yeah. I believe we call that roofies. Okay, yummy Karma THC ketchup, cannabis sriracha sauce.
Oh, is that green ketchup?
No, I can't eat green ketchup. That just doesn't seem right. Freddy's hot with 2 T's sauce, marijuana mustard and cannabis ketchup, Stony sauces, teriyaki sauce. I guess so. Dude, I totally love the new instead of chicken nuggets, nugs. I love that word. So Chef Nugs' full line of THC infused sauces include infused white truffle olive oil, soy sauce, maple syrup, ketchup, mustard, barbecue, hot wing, and Tabasco sauce. What's debit? That's debut because it's not Tabasco, it's Tabasco sauces that add a healthy dose of fun to any type of cuisine. A healthy dose of fun. Boy, that's some marketing if I ever saw it. Golden Eye Farms medicated ketchup. So these geniuses completely copied Heinz's ketchup label for their ketchup bottle. It says Heinz medicated tomato ketchup. Add a savory burst to your French fries, burgers, or hash browns with this medicated tomato paste puree infused with pure shatter. I guess shatter is another pot term. Carry one with you to discreetly medicate on the go. Because sometimes you just don't have time. Yeah.
Right. Now when I buy ketchup, I'm going to have to make sure it has an N in it.
Yeah. Or your Tabasco sauce has got a T at the front. Chef Nico's cannabis sauces. So, yeah, here's one A10 steak sauce. Oh, man, they're just all knockoffs. Let's see. This is like when you're watching a movie and, like, somebody's holding a beer and it just says beer. It doesn't say like Coors Light or Bud Light, because apparently they couldn't get the trademark, or they couldn't get the ad revenue from Coors or Budweiser, so it just says beer on the can. That's what this is.
I wonder if they have like cannabis laced beer or pot laced beer.
That's kind of like doubling up, isn't it? I mean, you've already got the alcohol.
Right.
You need the THC too? Dude, I'm so effed up, and I don't know if it's the THC or the alcohol, man. I'm so confused.
This cannabis Coors is so good.
This Bud is pretty good. Oh, my gosh. There's the people. I mean, it's kind of like the whole, whatever something comes out new, somebody's going to add sex to it. So now anything that some food comes out with, somebody's going to add pot to it. So, yeah. It's all, I mean, hey, I guess what sells?
What's something you eat that you would add pot to?
Well, let's see. I mean, I guess, I don't know, hamburgers? No. What about pot ice cream?
Human hamburgers?
I would definitely have to put pot in my...
plant-based burgers.
Beyond people meat. We want to put our meat where you... what about you?
I don't know, man.
I mean, do you start out the day? So would you lean more towards breakfast, or ended up the day with dinner in your pot?
You probably want to end your day, I guess, man. I don't know. All the people I saw in college that did it in the dorms, man, they were pretty worthless. So end your day with it. Yeah.
What did they do? Did they start their day and have a brunch?
I don't know if they ever stopped. But
yeah.
See, we lived in the dorm that didn't have air conditioning,
right.
So you had to leave your windows open. So, man, that stuff would just filter in from all directions. It was
wow. Yeah, see, we didn't have, which we had, we were in the newer dorms, but I never did smell it on my floor. I smelled, cigarettes and stuff, but I don't remember. Now everybody had beer, but it
True.
was, I remember rolling a keg up to my buddy's room on the second floor. That was pretty fun. We hauled it up in a trash can. It was pretty cool. We were wild men back in the day, but now we're playing bridge. Oh man, yeah.
We're playing bridge with the hopped up
bridge with pink eye.
He's all hopped up on that crack cocaine.
Well, guys, I think we've completely run the wheels off of this show, so we're gonna get out of here and wish us all luck whenever we go to our calf show. And Landon, tell everybody where they can find you on Twitter.
No Twit Landon 44.
That's right. You can find me. That's at Trader Brent all over Twitter, and you can find us all over the Global Ag Network. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on iTunes. Hey, give us a rating and review. Give us a bad one, please, so we can read it on the air. I didn't even check if we've had one. Usually it says that you got a new comment or something, but I haven't seen that yet. So y'all check it out. Also, if I can get to the email that I'm supposed to read here. Okay, here we go. Just want to remind you that today's podcast of the Dryline Farmer Podcast is brought to you by X-Way brand fungicides by FMC. And we're not going to even tell you what FMC stands for because we got in trouble already once, and we're not going to do it again. So, guys, y'all go check out FMC and check out all the other great podcasts on the Global Ag Network. And be sure to check out our good buddy, Casey Seymour. He's got the Moving Iron podcast. He talks about all things equipment. And then when he gets his buddy Aaron, is it Fentanyl? Oh, I want to call him Aaron Fentanyl. Aaron Fentel. When those two dudes get together, and I've never met Aaron, but we had him on a podcast together, and they just started talking about tractors and stuff, like two 70-year-old guys that just ate 3 boxes of pot brownies. And they were, like Landon and I were just sitting here listening, and I didn't.
It's like the old men on Varsity Blues talking about the football team.
Wieners on the glass.
Yeah. At the Alano Center.
At the Women's Auxiliary.
Maybe they're like you and me quoting movies.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic. Well, guys, we're right here at 30 minutes, so we're going to get out of here. So until next time, y'all have fun, y'all be safe, and Maybe we'll get some cold weather because I'm not even going to say snow. I know we have like a 40% chance of a half inch. So, we got that going for us. That'd be nice. Guys, y'all be cool. Y'all be safe. And we'll ask you, what side of the line are you on?
The Dryline Farmer Podcast, a member of the Global Ag Network. There's podcasts, and then there's this, the Dryline Farmer Podcast.